Hello, and welcome back to the studio. I'm Dr. Wigo, and today I'm going to be unboxing and setting up and testing the Beautural handheld garment steamer. Now, if all you care about is the garment steamer, skip to the next chapter and I'll start opening this. But first I have to tell you, first I have to explain why the hell am I talking about a handheld garment steamer on this channel, which I know is about a lot of things, but this doesn't seem like it falls into any of my usual categories. In fact, I'm already wondering, is this a Dr. Wigo on life? It's not tech. Well, I guess you'll already know because you'll have seen the thumbnail, but I have no idea. So let me explain. If you've been watching the last couple of videos on the channel, you notice I have taken to wearing a lab coat with my name embroidered on it. Yes, another one of Brian's ideas. My friend Brian, who he's like my producer, except he doesn't actually do much except make suggestions. But I thought this was a good suggestion, so I went with it. But if you watch the videos in 4K, like I do, you'll notice this thing's pretty wrinkly. All lab coats are wrinkly. I guess doctors can put up with it because they can afford to have them professionally cleaned and pressed. I want to get rid of my wrinkles, hence the garment steamer. Now, how did I pick this particular garment steamer? Well, like everything, I did a little research. There aren't a lot of YouTube videos about garment steamers. There are a few, but I looked on Amazon, which is where I buy almost everything. Amazon has two categories. They have Amazon's Choice, with the little black bar across it at the top corner. And then they have bestseller. Well, this was a bestseller. So I basically looked at all of the bestsellers and the Amazon Choice. Basically, they're all like $25 to $60. But what I discovered was they were all fairly well reviewed, over 4 stars, between 4 and 5 stars. But the Amazon's Choice, while the ratings were good, there were very few ratings. This one had a 4.4, I believe. I'll put it up here somewhere. Had a 4.4 star rating with like 60,000 reviews. So when I see a bestseller that has decent ratings and a lot of reviews, I'm thinking probably pretty good. So I went with this one, the Beautural. Clearly someone whose English is not their native language who was going this, is it Beautural an antidepressant? And it also had powerful steam in only 30 seconds. It seemed like a good one. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to unbox this, set it up according to this 30 seconds fast warm up. So apparently once I get this out of the box and get some water into it, I'll be able to steam this very lab coat within 30 seconds. By the way, you won't have to wait through the 30 seconds. I'll edit. Anyway, let's see what comes in the box. I'm thinking it's going to be a garment steamer, but live chat. So if you have any problems, tips from steaming experts, that could certainly come in handy. I will read that later. Then the instruction manual, a whole page of safety instructions. What water to use, has been designed to use tap water. Well, that's all I needed to know. Because by the way, if it was designed to use distilled water, I would probably still use tap water. Then we have the little, I guess the water thing. Well, let me get it all out of here. So this is the actual unit here. By the way, I got it in like turquoise. Then when I was going back before I shot this video to pick up some facts like the number of good reviews and everything, I discovered that they have other colors. So I didn't have to go with this ugly one. I could have gotten like a nice gray. Important. I hate it when the things are important and they're in little tiny print. Thoroughly tested. Some residual water from testing might remain. That is normal. Don't think it was previously used. That's a clever way of getting around. What if it was previously used? How will I know? Because this says, I won't be able to tell because there's water in it. Oh, great. And it's a hard to get off label. I hate this. I'm sure someone has invented a label that just peels right off, but they're probably more expensive, and so no one uses them, so I'm very annoyed. So clearly the water goes in here, although I don't know how. I guess I am going to have to read the manual. This is clearly the cup for pouring the water in there, but I don't see where you'd pour it in. So I read the little booklet. There's a little tab you pull up, and it gives you a fill hole. Now, it's not a very big fill hole, so let's try not to get water all over my expensive desk. And I just poured water all over my desk. And of course, I have nothing to wipe things up with because I'm in my office. I don't have towels and stuff. I tell you what I do have, a lab coat. So now we're supposed to put this back in here, like so. Now that did not fill it up. So I filled this to here, 200 milliliters. So 200 milliliters only fills it up to about there. This lower, the bottom line, which I don't know if you can see, I can't tilt it now, is minimal. I'm like 3 bars above minima, and then I got 4 more bars to get to max. So apparently it'll take at least 2 of these little things to fill that up. So note to self, in future, take both of these into the bathroom or kitchen or wherever you're doing this and fill it up there, so if you spill it, won't make any difference. I wanted you to see. Now, the next thing I need is a hanger, but I need something to hang it on. Well, if you remember from part 0 of the studio video, I do have a halberd, a gift from my brother Joe. And so I'm going to lean the halberd. Okay, this video is turning out sillier than you thought, isn't it? Certainly sillier than I thought. I'm still grading papers at the end of the semester. So again, I wanted a video that would be kind of fast, and like a lot of the other videos I've got coming up are going to be shot in other rooms where I'd have to set up the camera. There'll be a lot of setup. So I wanted something I could do in here, and this was all I had. There's a pretty hefty crease here. There's some creasing along here. Same thing on this side, you know, where it was folded up when they sent it to me. Now, these little guys, see, that gives you a brush. So if like you're doing a suit, it's got lint on it, you can get that out. This is a similar thing, except with a little brush pad for sweaters and things if you want to pick up lint and stuff. And this one, which is actually, I think, the more entertaining one, you can make creases. You can fold things, put them in there. Well, here, if I wanted a crease, like on my sleeve, you can do that. I don't need any of that, because all I'm really going to be using this for are these lab coats, and they don't pick up a lot of lint. They're not like suits or wool or sweaters or anything. Now the power cord looks to be about 8 or 9 feet, maybe 10 tops. Okay, so now as you can see, the power indicator is blinking. It's preheating. When it becomes solid, it's ready to use. For continuous stream, lock. There's a trigger. Well, I can't tilt it back. Well, there's a trigger under here. For continuous steam, you lock the trigger and then push it up to release. Use your free hand to keep the fabric taut and stretch. Stream the garment with downward strokes. The power light is on. Let's see what happens. Okay, this sleeve is pretty wrinkly. I don't know about you. I thought this was going to be like magic and it was just going to, the wrinkles were just going to go away. Apparently not. Okay, I'm running my hand on the inside of the fabric, which is not that, it's not that thick, but it's warm, but it's not burning my hand or anything. I mean, I wouldn't want to stick my hand into the actual steam jet. Well, and it's kind of working. You know what would work a lot faster and better? An iron. But of course, that means you need an ironing board, which I do not have. So I'd have to buy an iron and an ironing board. Find a place to put them. Also, if you travel, This is technically not a travel steamer. They have models that are specifically called travel steamers so that you can take them with you like in your luggage. So like when you get to the hotel, you can quickly get the wrinkles out. Well, I'm not sure quickly is the word I would use. They are coming out. I'm going to do this for a while. So there'll be a cut, and then I'll tell you how long I've been doing it. So after 5 minutes, it has gotten virtually none of the wrinkles. They're better, but they're not out. And when I've used up a lot of the water, I'm getting down to the min line. So I've turned a lot of this stuff into water into steam. I have steamed and steamed, and I don't know how well it shows on camera, but I worked primarily on this spot, which still has a bit of wrinkle in it, and I worked on this arm, which didn't really seem to make any difference at all. What do I think? Well, I think it was only $30. The list price is $40, and they knock it down to $30, so you'll think you're getting a deal. It works as ever. I mean, it does what it says. It's steaming. It's steamed within 30 seconds. I mean, it's doing what it said. But for oh, look, there's still steam coming out. It's not quite finished. But for my purposes, what this is for is touch-up. So again, like if you get a travel steamer and you get to your hotel and you unpack your clothes and they've picked up some wrinkles, it's still steaming. This kind of product is good for touching up. You got a few wrinkles. It was in your suitcase, picked up some wrinkles in your suitcase. Again, this one is not travel. This is for use at home. But I can already see, I mean, from playing with it, I would probably have to spend an hour or more to get these wrinkles out. For my purposes, I need an iron and an ironing board. By the way, I will not do a video about an iron and ironing board because I'm sure you all, A, either already have one, or B, you're probably not shopping for one. So I just thought maybe this would be my solution. Once I've done the iron and the ironing board, if it gets a little wrinkly from like wearing it during a video, then I can use this to touch up. For my purposes, I'll be going back to Amazon and looking for iron. I mean, it's better. But the amount of wrinkles, the amount that are built up in this, if you have something that's been like wadded up for a while, this isn't going to be your answer. You're going to really need an iron, probably a steam iron. But again, for touch-up purposes, once I have it ironed, and like especially like in your at your elbows, you'll pick up wrinkles from wearing things. Well, I might be able to get those out with this without having to go back to the iron. For $30, it's not a bad deal. It's just that I was hoping it was going to be my only solution I needed to get the wrinkles out of my lab coat. Apparently not. So I will be getting an iron and an ironing board, but again, there won't be a video. Overall, the Beautural handheld garment steamer, again, decent product, doesn't do what I need it to do, but it does what it says it will do, so I can't give it a bad evaluation. And by the way, you saw, well, I may have edited that out. I hit that button, and 30 seconds later, it was putting steam out. So they were true to their word on the 30 seconds. It's 1,200 watts, has auto shut off, includes 3 attachments, safe and gentle on all fabrics. That is the Beautural handheld garment steamer. Again, does what it says. Well, it's still hot. It's been unplugged now for a little while. So it takes a while to cool back down. But it heats up fast, and that's what you want. That's it for today. Thanks for stopping by. See you next time. Bye-bye.